Top of the morning to you. Let's see. I need to. Yeah, man. Look at this. Amazing breakout over here. Amazing breakout. The first breakout I couldn't catch. I don't know if you guys were watching the screen at that time. The first. Oh, we got the muted over here. Good morning. Good morning. Yo, Goldie was trying to be stingy with this breakout. The first breakout happened so quick. I couldn't even get stuck in, so I had to wait. Good thing it retraced down and then tried again. Yeah, good thing it retraced. Good thing it retraced. I don't know if there's any trades during the pre-session times. I didn't check. I kind of woke up late today. So this was the only range that I could actually catch. Oh, pre-London. Oh, one sec, chat. I'll be right back. Need to get that ashwagandha in. KSM 66. And a couple of these bad boys too. There's some vitamin D, D3. All right, let's get it. Working from home. Business at the top. What they say? Business at the top, party at the bottom? Have people wear a suit on the live webcam and boxers below. What a trade this morning. I also got it. Let's see. Today was late. Today I was late to the chart and 20 minutes done. Nice. That's the way it goes. No need to be a slave to the market. Depending on what concept you're trading, you got to see like how often it comes in and be okay with that waiting period. Okay, so if it takes you 2 hours, 3 hours, you know, it takes you some time to wait for a move, then you got to be okay with waiting that time. So you don't rush the market. So you have to somehow get used to that time span, you know, and just accept the fact that it's going to take you longer. But if you're used to it coming sooner, awesome. You know, then you know you're going to be done for the day. Now the trick with that one is the need to overtrade. Is the need to keep taking a trade back to back to back to back. Now that's the trick with that one, because you're going to be finished so quick. So quick, you're going to think like, oh man, I still want to trade. But every day is all about survival, correct? It's not about taking trades. The number one thing that you want to do is to protect your account. That's it. That's the only goal. Protect your account, protect your money, and whatever comes, you know, that's just going to be a byproduct of you following your rules. Don't focus about the money, because people who focus on the money, they never make the money. They never make the money. That's why people trade prop firms. They're never going to make money, because they're too money hungry. They need the quick stimulus check. And the problem with that is it gets you into a loophole, because if you've been losing a lot, the only solution now, you feel that because you're down the rabbit hole, is to keep paying for prop firms, so you can maybe just get a payout that can at least put you to break even from all the fees. And then that's like a really bad loop to be in, because it's either going to be digging the hole deeper. Otherwise, you're going to keep bleeding your account now because your psychology is all fucked up. Or Or maybe you get lucky, you get the payout, but something happens and they don't pay you out. Now you've dug the hole really deep at this point. Now you finally got a payout and they're not willing to pay you out. I saw a video on Instagram of a guy crying. A guy crying. He spent so much time with this prop firm and he spent so much money, but he was crying tears of joy because he was able to actually get to a payout, but they didn't give him the payout. But he was just crying because he was happy he could at least get a payout, but he didn't get the payout. They denied him. But I think he found solace in the fact that through all the trials that he got some kind of an education. So for him, that was like kind of like an achievement. So he said like he knew he could do it again. So he was crying like tears of joy, even though the prop firm didn't give him money. But you know, for a lot of people, they just won't give it to you. They just won't give you the money. And then it kind of sends you back in that spiral of looking for another prop. But these are things which actually happen, chat. You must read the fine prints. You must read the testimonies and know what you're getting yourself into. But I think soon enough people will see the light. It's a trend. I've been in this industry long enough. These trends usually come like wildfire and then they go. It's slowly dying out, I think. A lot more people are starting to realize. See, that's what I'm saying, man. On this channel, I don't want you guys to waste time, bro. I don't want you guys to be here for the next 10 years doing the same shit. Because I've had students who've been trading for 9 years and they still traded the same systems, the same ways that were unprofitable. But it's harder to teach somebody who's much older and stuck to his ways to see the light in a different way. So it ends up becoming like you want it to be a business, but then it just ends up becoming an unprofitable hobby for some people. But at least the important thing, they still stick with it. I'll give them that, man. They still go with it because they just generally enjoyed the time. You know, some of these guys are like older folk. They're like retired and really they're just not going to be doing anything else much. So they might as well get involved, right? We don't got time to waste, man. Apart from retirement, got a whole life ahead of me. I had a lot of you too. Gold central bank demand likely to broaden this year. Central bank demand for gold is likely to broaden this year. While higher gold prices and increased volatility weighed, let's see, purchases in January, fresh demand could emerge from central banks with relatively low gold holdings. A key theme this year could be new official sector buyers along traditional purchases. A downside risk would be selling by developed market central banks. Okay, nothing too interesting. Gold falls on rising inflation risks. Gold fall below 51.50 per ounce on Thursday, sliding for the second straight session as surging oil prices heighten inflationary risks. Oil should be coming down. I heard Trump say yesterday that he had a small meeting yesterday and he said oil, it didn't go as high as we expected it to go. Like we don't typically have this happen too often, you know. So you can possibly expect this thing to neutralize and come back down towards like average lows, I guess. You got a method. I make money on prop firm and I know I never lose money. I have a method. Nice, nice. Yeah, people do, but the vast majority don't. Did Vic crash? What do you mean if I crash? What do you mean if I crash? I ain't crashing, bro. As long as I got those ashwagandha supplements, I can deal with the chat. I already hit my subs for today. Posted in lifestyle. Nice to see. Today we're doing upper body. I'm on a 4-day streak. It's getting easier, 100%. Yesterday I did like 10 easy with like a 10% incline and 6 kilometers pace. Light work. It's working. By the end of the week, I should have lost a kg. It seems like I've lost already. It might also be a lot of water weight sometimes. How do you add people on this thing? New group. Bro, we should find. I'll find a way to like make this into Discord so we could all join this app, and you can just, you know, see who's putting the dues in, who's putting the dues in, and who's been a fat fuck. You fat, lazy, jiggly fuck. we gotta see who's putting the work in. The reason I'm saying it like that is because there's someone I'm watching here as a kind of a motivation. So every day I'm watching this Instagram channel for some kind of a motivation over here. Let's see, which one should we watch? Which one should we watch?
To everyone, except the fat fucks who didn't hit the gym today. What was your excuse besides being a lazy fat fuck? Huh? Quit stuffing your fat ass face and go to the gym tomorrow. What the fuck are you doing, bro? Why are you scrolling through this app when you need to wake up early to hit the fucking gym? Honestly, you're behaving like a fat fuck right now, and it's honestly disgusting. You should feel ashamed right now. You know, you deserve this and a rest day. My treat. Yeah, get that fucking shit out of my face. That was a fucking test and you failed. You really thought that you deserve a treat and a rest day for being a fat piece of shit? That's honestly hilarious, but...
It sounds like a South Park character in one of these.
Well. I heard that you want to look like a fat fuck this summer. You're on lunch break right now, right?
Yeah, I can't find it. But it's nice, you know, that would be your best friend. Your best friend would tell you that. Best friend would say, "Oh shit, I haven't seen you in a long time. Bro, you look like you're getting fat, bro. What happened?" When I told my mate, "Hey man, I can't join you for beers this weekend. I'm just trying to stop my cut here, so I need to get into like at least a routine of discipline." He's like, "Yeah man, you're growing a bit of a pot belly." I was like, "Thank you, bro. You should have told me that earlier." Oh yeah, sorry, J-Trix. It's I keep forgetting about the Discord cam because it's not the same cam. Yeah. My bad. If you can figure it out, you can make it, but not going to explain it. I have a program that when I enter prop firm, I take real also. We got Ricardo here. Oh, look at this, man. Pretty nice spreadsheet. Why is it so red over here? Oh, these are the accounts that you bought? Oh, what is this? Funded trade. I have to download these pictures. Oh yeah, Jonathan. Awesome. Goldie was wasting so much time at that consolidation before we broke out. Defunded trade, eval, funded. Damn, this looks professional. Funded account cost of buying eval plus real account trading. Risk per trade 10%. Prop firm risk 3.80. Lot size. I think you spelled lot size wrong. You're at low T size. Back to the printers. Man, nice. At least this is some kind of a organization over here. Man, like I'm sure people are always gonna try and like find ways to weasel their profits out of these prop firms, like in a very organized manner, right? Because they don't give you lots of wiggle room, so you really have to plan everything out if you're going to be somehow making money on them. Back to the printer as you go. That was that pre-London breakout. Oh, was that London? No, that was pre-London, about 20 minutes. Now it's setting up again. And one thing you're going to realize about this channel here is we say the same thing. And you just have to consistently keep showing up, and then it just clicks. It just clicks. Even yesterday, we were streaming. We have like this hangout stream, which I'm trying to be consistent with. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes, and if people actually tune in and that kind of stuff. But we had this chill out stream. You see, we're looking at the same thing over here. Same thing, we're just playing some skate and looking at sells on NQ below 25 or 23. And then you see this range? Look at this range. Look at this. Look at this. Boom. Yeah, I was showing the guys this video yesterday before hitting the gym. You see that? Man, look at this. Oh, okay, where are we going? NQ came all the way down to 24,940 over here. Then we have profit taking by support. It came back up. A little bit of a shotgun play there. Because you know, the whole time we're looking at this, we're thinking, okay, so you know, price is waiting here. So it's hadn't had its payout. Like it was paying out the NY session for buys. And then we're like, okay, you know, this is now the next, the buys are done. So this is where now the next orders are coming in. So it's just about patience. Then you wait, you set your levels, and then it comes in, you get your market execution. Oh, that's now going to be a strategy to how to get into the market, and then you know, then that's what's going to determine how you're going to catch this move. But like the idea, man, if you can even conceptualize this part of it, like that's a huge part. That's like 50% of the work done. The other 50% is your strategy, man. Your strategy is what's going to get you in these positions, because like when price moves, we're all kind of getting in, but like it's getting in, people getting in various different ways. The idea is how to get a seat. So if you could do 50%, at least understanding when markets are posing, taking profits, recalibrating, at least if you just understand that part, you know, the strategy comes in secondly. So that would be the easiest way I can break it down for you in terms of finding some kind of edge. Easiest way, we just put it like that because it's a cycle, right? It's like it will just keep doing it over and over and over again. And it doesn't have much to do with like all the time what happened previously. It's more of like what's happening now. Because like right now you can see we got like some kind of a support right over here. We got a support and we got the next support down below this level. This range is going to give us like about 75 pips. Similar spot where NQ was as well. So we can say potential. This is one way of looking at it. But the other ways that we trade, that's more just like volume based trade, like momentum breaks. But it's always good to have this confluence. See, like here we had kind of like a bit of range, from that wick to here. But then you see these levels get disrespected. They're also meant to break. They're not always meant to be respected. But in a situation like this, I would be kind of expecting it to respect. Yeah, because it's a pretty strong fall. It's like 73 pips. Strong fall. Yeah, so you just gotta wait. Gotta wait now. That range where we took the buy is what's looking to get corrected. Just got to wait. They got resistance up over here. And that's the range. So this is kind of like the point A of where the next payout is going to come from. Because you see, it's not distributed yet. So it's going to come out of this area. A few rejection wicks to the highs. Silver 100 today. Silver 100. Yeah, 100 psychological. That's you think silver 100? It's a bit ambitious. It's a really big push. No candle has done such a big push yet. Just recently over here. Maybe this one on 5th of February. But since the 5th of February, we're in the 12th of March over here. Since then, we haven't had a candle have that much volume. So the question is, what would make silver go up to 100? That's now the next question. What catalyst do you have to say that thing? Oh, look at this candle here closed below support. No bottom wick on that. Oh, tiny bottom wick. Yeah, it's like, what catalyst do you have for silver to show you that it's gonna go up? Macro fundamentals, you know, some kind of a volume. See if this candle here reflips and rebreaks its lows, gets through these wicks. We're expecting it to come down to retrace a little bit further down. Silver, I would say like a more realistic target on silver is from here to here. That's your daily target. It's not being greedy. It's achievable. It's, you know, it's more realistic. If you're expecting volume in today, that we can at least start to break above 90 level. So my intraday, if I ever took like intraday trade, you know, you also got to find a balance between taking your trades on the LTF and having these higher time frame levels to meet. Because remember, the daily might still go and hit your target, but since you're taking on an intraday, you're going to have to deal with that fluctuation. When candles do this, they're going to be wicking you out of your trade. So how can you take a trade on like a 5-minute or 30-minute and then expect the daily to just play ball? So you're going to have to deal with that fluctuation. So that's where a lot of people mess up as well. Sometimes it works. Like when price is in momentum, and let's say there was like interest rate cuts or something of the sort. Yeah, you're going to see in September, when we get our first rate cut, you're going to see like gold going to move up. And when again, you're going to have a target like somewhere obvious on the daily, it's most likely just going to keep going. Then it works beautifully. But just on random days like this, I don't think so. It's the same way like sometimes, you know, remember the buys that we had on Tuesday? we were right below the Asia session highs. You know, it's usually also nice if you're doing those types of like moves, then it's on the intraday, because Asia session highs are like a magnet, So if you have like, let's say, a buy confirmation here, there's a pretty good chance that it's just going to try and go to the Asia session high and then tap it. But you don't want to be using like these crazy daily levels. So that's one way. You got Asia high session highs and lows, and as well as ranges like this. And you also don't want to like always hold the move, because at the end of the day, you're here to get paid, right? You're not here to be right or correct. There's a big difference. I think a lot of people can't tell the difference, because usually whenever like my trades run, man, people ask me like, why are you not holding the trade? Because you know, if you go on the trades that we take, man, they most of the time just keep running. People are like, bro, you're still not holding your trades? Yeah, but there's a big difference between making money and wanting to be right like this. Even though it runs, you know, amazing. Just let them run. But as long as you can secure, you know, like 1%, 2%, 3%, and if it pushes really fast in your direction for profit, then sometimes you gotta make 5%, 10% even plus. Right? Then those are kind of like what I like to have as runners. Those really easy trades where it just like pushes and you're like, damn, I thought I was gonna close 2%, but it just continued running. Right? When the momentum is there, you can see it with the 1 minute candles and how they're moving. Right? So that's the pro of having refined entries, because you're able to tighten this part, the stops, 16-20 pips, and then have a better chance at seeing that exponential gain. Because if you have a fat stop loss, you don't really realize it, even if it like pushes heavy. It just seems like a normal push. But if you got a tighter stop, like 16-20 pips, you gotta realize it. And it happens every so often, those types of plays. Oh, nice. Got a sell over here. Beautiful. Sell, break of the low. Secured something. Nice clean traffic on the left. Head and shoulder sell. Price was down 0.50%. Clean range. Amazing. Man, this is a perfect example of a trade that I would have taken. Right over here. Beautiful. I'm sure on the 5 it also looked pretty clean. Look at that. The price came down. And then you secure something. You're not greedy, because you see now, you gotta leave these guys behind, because these guys just are the guys who want to be right. So you gotta leave them behind. So you know, you take your piece of the cake, wherever that's gonna be, here, 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 and then just leave the rest of them behind. Right? Leave the rest of them behind, because as a day traders, the market it'll give you beautiful pushes. Like I'm sure this was, I'm gonna guess 70 pips. Let's see if I can even find where that move is. Yeah, it's here. I'm gonna guess 70 pips. Oh, it's 40 pips. 40 pips. Yeah, still pretty decent move. They just leave the rest of them to get wiped out by the shark. Because the shark knows. The shark knows it's gonna pay the discipline, and then it's gonna wipe out the indisciplined. Like this. And believe me, like people still get stuck in these positions like that. They usually get caught out like this. It happens a lot, because it happens also sometimes that it's under your nose and you don't realize it. Like that happens to a lot of new traders, for example, in the first years of trading, where they're realizing that price keeps going against them, because they're already having price move in their direction, and then it starts to go back against them. That used to happen to me a lot. But you don't realize it as you're still kind of learning over there. Let's see. The shotgun play distributed about... Wow, man. Only like 12 pips. Only 12 pips. Come on, gold. 12 pips was cool back in 2024. Back in 2024. It's not cool anymore. You see at least like 20 pips. Any time from before 2025, gold would go like 10 pips, 10 pips, 12 pips. We used to secure a lot of like, you know, 10 pip moves, 10 pip, 12 pip moves, because those were like the big moves, or like the standard moves. Now the standard move is like 20 pips. These like 16, 20 pips. The strategy you use, TFX concepts, my friend. Yeah, now we need like 20 pips at least, minimum. Okay, minimum 16, but yeah, 20 would be good. Saudis are forcing COMEX to send physical silver right now. Those people slowly realize that only 1 ounce of silver. Oh yeah, 1 ounce of silver out of 300 ounces is backed by physical silver. They could consolidate for a bit because it almost tapped the daily resistance. Yeah, you see, Goldie's opening up again. What I tell you, chat. What I tell you. Clear skies now. Clear skies are opening up again. I can see it. 1, 2, 3, 4 win streak. Clear skies are opening up again. Just stick with it. Stick with it. Stick with the patterns. You see this? It's always like this. Clear skies gonna open up, and then sometimes, man, you get through these trials and tribulations. It's just like back to back to back, you know, and you're just trying to like keep your head above water. Obviously, like, you know, it's a good thing that you're gonna secure when it's in clear skies, so you get your P&L up enough so that during this kind of like rest period, that it's just all about kind of like surviving and managing a bit more until you start to see the wins roll in again. This is what we call a cluster of good and bad trades that every strategy is gonna have. So you have to understand your clusters. You can't trade into the future without understanding this, you know. Like, this was also kind of discouraging here. Like, you get a loss, you'd get like a loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, and then you just keep doing it. You keep doing that, you keep showing up, and then, you know, that's results gonna show at the end we here at the month anyway. Because this is normal. There's a difference. You have to be able to differentiate between a normal losing trade, like normal clusters of losing trades, and just pure bad trades that you're taking. And the only way you can do that is by journaling. If you don't, and also some months are a lot more cleaner. I haven't had like a really clean, like one of my cleanest months I think was sometime last year. Maybe took like 2 losses in the whole month. That was a really good month. So it's just a natural progression, right? You just kind of let the market do what it does, and you just do what you're supposed to do. Because you never know how these are like zebra stripes. You see, think about these reds and greens like zebra stripes or like fingerprints, right? It's always going to be some kind of a unique, based off of how the loss and the win comes. It's always going to be different, right? It's always going to be different, these stripes. So every month's got like its own kind of stripe, depending on like the condition of the month. And you don't gotta be like a genius about markets to understand these things. Like, if you look at the bunch of these guys on Wall Street, like I said, all they do is like add and subtract. You don't have to be a genius, but at least you have to be able to have some kind of a thought process, you know, based off like what you know. It's not about what other people know that you want to know. It's about like, what do you know? But all we can do is on the stream and all, we just set the foundation that you can at least understand some of these things. So I'm not gonna come here and like tell you about liquidity, book maps, and all that stuff, because I truly believe trading is something intrinsic to someone wanting to understand. It has nothing to do with external things, you know, like you don't need all these external things to make you a good trader. Your trader is a trader, you know. It's a person. Finally, gold, silver day today. As Belify working on 5 kgs for half a year, but doesn't work right now. Last year I lost 20 kg. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think it's just really diet and movement. I think there's a point where people usually kind of stop seeing progress as well. It's easy to lose fat in the beginning, right? In the beginning, it's much easier, but when you get down to like, let's say, I can't remember what's the digit like. It's like 17%, depending on what you're doing. If the scale is not moving, so you gotta look at your diet and make sure you're moving enough. Like at least doing 10,000, maybe even 15,000 steps a day, and at least doing like 2 times a week heavy lifting, so you can like retain some of that muscle too. And yeah, I guess it's just change your diet, man. Maybe you got to go on a higher calorie deficit. Right now I'm at like 1,800. Science says anything below 1,800 is it's a little bit more detrimental to your health. If you start getting to the 1,700, it's a bit more detrimental, right? So 1,800 is like somewhere you want to target then. I think that works for most people. Mr. Olympia does like 1,800 calories. And also like watch your fat levels too. Make sure you're not going, maybe I would say at least above like somewhere between 40 to 60 grams of fat. I'm currently I think at like 46 because you need fat. Anything below 40 grams of fat a day is going to be also, maybe you can, depending on your body weight, maybe you can get away like 37 grams. But generally speaking, anything below like 40 grams is going to be detrimental to your concentration, your focus, because your brain needs that fat to stay focused and all of these things. So don't try to cut out the fat from all your food completely. Yeah, within that range of like 40 to 60 should be good. Then just adjust according to your experience. But you see, that's the foundation, right? That's the foundation. Just like anything in life, like even in trading, you can give someone a foundation, but if they're not willing to work on that foundation, what can you do? What can you do? Even God can't help a lazy person. God can give you like everything that you need, but if you don't want to move, He can't help you. Yeah, we created new support over here. 5177. Still stuck in this range here of like 130 pips. Yeah, so check it out. Try it out. I want the best for you, man. I want the best for you. So try it out. In a week, you should be losing at least 0.5 to maybe let's say 0.9 kg. If the scale is not moving, then you gotta do some. You gotta keep tweaking it. Calories determined by numerous amount of factors: gender, physical activity, lean body mass. Genetics play a role. I usually tell people use a standard calorie calculator. Use one app or method to track your calorie, and then track your progress from there. And as you said, depending on your goal, tweak it. Nice. Yeah, people gonna do it like various different ways. Remember, as I always say, there's 1,000 ways to skin a goat. I don't like the methods of like using those apps. You're gonna take a picture of the food and then you're gonna use it. It's gonna tell you. I feel like it's better when you already know, when you read the label and you know everything that you're eating throughout the week, and you can be like more precise, because on Google and stuff they give you like general. Sometimes they overgeneralize it. You ask like, how much fat is there in a gram of peanut butter? In a gram in a certain amount of peanut butter, and then generalize it. Then you go and buy some really fatty peanut butter, and then it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it depends. I think the standard calculation is what is it? Wait, let me see. Can I even remember it? No, I can't. I gotta go back on my notes. They usually have formulas for this kind of stuff. Like for your fat, based on your body weight, your calories, your maintenance. The beautiful thing is you just do it once, you get it set up, and you don't gotta think about it too much. The hardest thing is getting on it though, right? It's just like trading. It's just the hardest part is just getting that routine in. But once you get it set, then all you gotta do is like follow it, and it becomes a lot easier. So like every day we basically have a routine. We know what we're looking for. So we don't have to worry too much about the tweaking. That's why the foundation part, like, well, whatever method you're going to use, calorie calculator or whatever it is, that's your foundation, right? So you have to realize that and then be okay with moving forward with that, but not rushing it. But not rushing it. Yeah, a lot of things play a role. Even metabolism plays a role if you got a fast or slow metabolism. Like everybody's different. Everybody's unique. You know, that's why cookie cutter methods, they're good to set you foundation. But you always, even like TFX concepts, it's a foundation. ICT, it's a foundation. Supply, demand, SMC, these are all foundations. That's why I think like a lot of people maybe not understanding, and then they're struggling to find their way. It's because like everybody is unique in these realms, right? We just set the foundation, and then you have to at least, you know, kind of like see. That's how it worked for me. Like I was following like various different people, and from various different people, I was building my own house. From the knowledge here. It's like, okay, I think this makes the most sense. I would like to see this thing pulled down. It sounds like it's what is it, 0.13%. You know, up 0.13, 0.11% right now. It's still kind of like hovering there on the daily. It's still kind of holding. A small little liquidity grab below the lows on the daily, looking to come up over here. We're going to be coming up towards like 53.20. We just need some kind of I think we're waiting for news, some more news. Core PCE price index, because we got FOMC next week. So yeah, I think this whole hold up here is potentially waiting for some kind of an event, you know? Maybe like the FOMC next week, Wednesday. That seems to be why it's actually accumulating like this. So keep tabs of that, chat. That's going to be very, very important for you to understand, because you know every day you want to look at the daily, and if you see the daily compressed and not moving like this, you have to kind of think like what could be the reason why it's not moving, right? So we have a few things on the board. Core PCE, we might, if we don't get the push by tomorrow for Freaky Friday, we're gonna most likely still kind of hold towards like Wednesday, as we're approaching FOMC statement. That could be the catalyst to why it's like this. But you see on the intradays are pretty nice. Look at the intraday swings. Look at the intraday swings. Intradays are still pretty solid, even though that daily is consolidating. Yeah, so we're gonna wait over here, and price is gonna set up again, and it's gonna do its thing again, and it's gonna be awesome. And we're gonna do simulation on Sunday just for runners. How to hold runners. How to hold a running trade. We should have that video already as a simulation. We've already done it before. It's in there somewhere in the archives. I remember the time I was studying ICT, I was confused with too many concepts. Traders have hearts of gold, nerves of steel, and you wonder about your weight. Yes, sir. If you can deal with with the stress of trading, you can deal with anything. Well, I don't know. Trading is not really stressful. People say it's stressful. I get why. Because when things are not going your way, yeah, it could be quite stressful, especially when you're not following rules. People really struggle with discipline in this field. They really struggle with keeping the money that they've made, so that's why it becomes hard. Because now you're just focusing on surviving more than anything else. You know, that's the thing with like prop firms. Like, sure, there's some guys who do it okay, like, but there's a vast majority of people who are just focusing on surviving. So it's kind of more coming from a point of need. You know, like if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, yeah, like a lot of these people, like they're kind of like at the bottom. They're kind of the bottom because they're kind of like trying to just, you know, get like a payout. You know, they just want to see some kind of lifestyle result. Yeah, we got Maslow's. Damn, architect, you're like a chat GPT in here. Holy, faster than chat GPT. How do we get this image? Psychological as this physiological needs. Yeah, it's more physiological. A lot of these traders' mentalities online, man, they haven't done the inner work at all. They're gonna realize this in some years. Unfortunately, they're gonna have a lot of tuition paid by then. And I know this, chat. Like, I'm not saying this to discourage anybody. I know this, guys. I know this. I know how the game is played. Like, that's why you gotta be very careful. You see, physiological needs. This is what they need. They need clothing. They need all of these things. You know, they need that payout. They need that holiday. They need this. They need that. For their selfish reasons. That's why they do it. But, you know, the ones who can do it profitably, they've already bypassed this level. They're probably more towards a little bit higher. Let's see. This love and belonging, esteem, self-actualization. Yeah, we're still somewhere around here. Ones who can do it like better because they've already done that inner work. So this for them is just an opportunity to make money. Whereas most are kind of stuck here where it's like they need like safety needs, personal security, health, you know, property. They're like still down here because they haven't actually done that inner work to be traded profitably. So yeah, there are definitely some sharks out there who are milking these firms and using that as an opportunity. But you have to see, where are you currently, you know? Are you up here? Are you still down here? Still down here or are you up here? Because to be honest, when I was doing it, my first times, I also had that psychology, right? Like, we've all been through the same journey. That's why I'm quite confident when I say, like, I can really look at somebody, sit in a room with them, they're going to tell me what it is, and I can already know what's going to happen, like what the outcome is going to be for this person. It's very, very straightforward in this industry. So, like, the first 3 attempts I did, I was down here. Physiological needs, safety needs. I was already humbled by the market so much that I just kind of wanted like a break, you know? I just kind of wanted like a payout. Something to feel good as I was still learning, correct? Like just something to kind of keep me motivated, right? So I tried like 3 times. And then I failed all 3 times. I'm like, damn, I can't even get lucky. You know, some guys get lucky. I couldn't even get lucky. Sometimes guys get lucky in trading. Some guys, when they start trading, they're already flipping accounts like 500. They can make $1,000, 200. They can make $1,000. Man, I never got lucky in my journey. Like, not a single time that I ever got lucky. It's because when I was doing it from the start, I was trying to do it correctly, you know? I was trying to do correctly. So I didn't have that gambler mentality. It's the same thing as when somebody goes to the casino the first time. They just go to enjoy. So through the process of enjoying and keeping things simple, they actually make money. It's only when they actually go back home and study, let's say, blackjack or study slot machines, they really get too complicated. Then the second time, third time, they start to lose money. So my first introduction, I was always looking to do it correctly. So that meant that through following those stringent rules, I never was able to get lucky. But I think, that's also a blessing as well, because it keeps you on the right track. Because you don't want to get lucky, right? Because you think like if you can do it once, you can do it again. But you don't want to get lucky, not in trading. Yeah, luck wouldn't teach you much. Price is hovering 51.77. See, it's flirting with that support. Sellers are trying to bring it down. Got a nice range there. Gold pressured by firmer dollar inflation concerns. Hey Vic, hey, what's up, Illist? Which one is safer? USDT or USDC? Which stablecoin one is safer? USDC is safer than USDT. USDT is good for transactions if you're planning on using it like more transaction wise. But if you're planning on holding as kind of like a storage, USDC. Does oil price will affect gold price to go up? No. Well, okay, kind of. There's a weird correlation, because I think when oil stabilizes, gold should start on the daily. Gold should start. The whole reason why gold is not moving is because a lot of like institutions and banks have reallocated funds away from precious metals such as gold. To balance out their sheets based off what's happening there in the Middle East. Like, this whole oil thing is a pretty big part of that reason. So I think like when oil stabilizes, we're probably going to see gold start to move a bit more, because right now gold is just lacking some kind of a liquidity. It's lacking vast amounts of liquidity in here to move the daily. So yeah, it does slightly have a correlation in that sense. So you'll see, like, this is not the typically like gold would move during wartime, right? But you see it's not moving. Like, what's moving is oil instead. There's a small correlation there. So yeah, I anticipate when oil comes down and we get FOMC, it should be back to business as usual, being straightforward. People are really confused about why gold was not skyrocketing and why like oil was moving up. I was really confused this time. So it happens. It doesn't happen like as often, right? So hopefully we get back to business as usual once that situation dies out, which already looks like it's coming towards a close over there in Iran. Like the war and Donald Trump and the way he's saying things, it seems like it's coming to a close soon. So we shall see. We'll see how that plays out. Because right now, this whole war thing is actually making the dollar index move up. So I don't like how fast that he wants to close it. Maybe this is It's moving slightly a bit up. Not as crazy bullish, but definitely a lot better than what we were seeing before. What we were seeing before in the dollar index was a lot of like weakness, right? A lot of weakness. But now this war has brought about a little bit of strength. Trump says, you know, stock market's gonna rebound. Things are gonna be great again. We'll see what effect that will have on the dollar once that kind of closes off. I had to buy in the weekend and gold came down. I still took a buy. I still took the attempt because we did get the volume. Remember, like when the war kind of was like breaking out, we still got the pushes here. There's like February 27th. What is this? February 27th. We still got the pushes. This was on the weekend from February 27th, and that weekend move, and it escalated here in March 2nd. I mean, it happened over the weekend, but you know, the Monday candle did have its push. That's why we secured. We got like a bomber clot trade on that too. Bomber clot! It's because we were waiting for it, correct? Like, it's not luck. We were waiting for it. Even before that, we were just considering like, you know, when is Trump gonna do this? When are they gonna attack? He had that 15-day. He gave him like 15 days or like, okay, you know, he still has time. But what instead happened was Trump pushed the hand of Israel to attack Iran first, like as a preemptive measure, right? And then that we did not anticipate. So that whole 15-day thing was kind of like, hey, you know, that thing could have been planned in advance. They could have already known that they were going to attack a lot sooner than the 15-day thing that Trump gave. The thing is, like, as retail traders, we're always operating from a lack of information. There's no way you're going to trade smart money concepts when you don't even have a seat at the table. You know, you can just speculate. Smart money concept is just speculation. It's just the same way that you're going to speculate if price is going to come down here or not. So there's nothing real fancy about smart money concepts. You're still a retail trader. The only thing that we can do is we can just react based off of how the candlesticks are moving, right? Because like at the end of the day, as traders, especially, you know, retail traders, we just see the candles. Like, this is all that we see, so we gotta get good at reading them. Like, at least that's my opinion. I just focus on what I can prove. You know, I can't prove a lot of these things when it comes to smart money concepts. I can't prove it. Like, how do I prove it? I don't work at these banks, and obviously if I did, I wouldn't be able to be streaming like this. So we gotta focus on what we can control. Always focus in life what you can control, not what you cannot control. Always. Because then you're gonna waste a lot of time and energy on those things that you cannot control. And then you're gonna throw away everything. When you kind of like get defeated, you throw away everything. So just focus on what you can control. Yeah, they put money in oil to make money. War is money. Yes. Yeah, war is money. When you understand the markets, you know, when you understand money, you understand banking systems are Ponzi scheme. You understand that wars are needed to stimulate the market, to stimulate the rich, so the rich keep getting richer. When you understand money, you understand how things operate in this world, correct? Like, it becomes very black and white. If the world knew that the banking system was a big Ponzi scheme, like, you know, that kind of financial education is not going to be taught in schools. If the world knew, I mean, we would question a lot of things if we truly understood how it all works. There's a reasons these things are in place, chat. Like, you know, the most successful people statistically in our society are narcissists and psychopaths because they lack emotion. So most of the time you're gonna see these people at the top making all the big moves. They're a little narcissistic. They don't have empathy for the common man. It's all about tapping into that true intrinsic nature of greed and hunger, which is something that we can all learn to tap into, you know, every now and then, so we can at least get things done for ourselves. Because I think, like, for me personally, anger is a ever renewable energy source that makes you want to do better for yourself. That's why when you see someone get dumped by their girlfriend or whatever it is, man, they start hitting the gym, they start changing their life, and and they just become a completely different person, right? They start wanting better for themselves. So yeah, I mean, love is great and all, but man, hunger, that hunger is gonna come from the anger of not achieving what you know that you can achieve, you know? So it pushes you. You're gonna need that anger, man. Like in those dying moments, you're gonna need that anger. You know, when someone's like dying or trying to push, or like, you know, they're running a marathon, it's not love that they're feeling in the end, man. It's anger, you know, to get through that last stretch. It's like that anger gonna drive you so you can keep swimming or whatever it is you're doing. So that's what they do at the top, you know. But you don't gotta be a psychopath. Who's gonna build the boats and carry the logs? Or who's gonna carry the logs and build the boats? The thing is, society makes us timid, especially when you work at corporations and you work at businesses, which is good. We need that. We need polite culture and all of these things 100%. But man, for me, very difficult. It's hard for me not to step on people's toes. It's hard for me to know my place in a work environment as well. Sometimes I'm acting like the boss when I was working. So it's like, bro, if you're gonna fire me, then fire me. But you know, this is just the way it is. Like, this is my nature. If I can provide value, then I'm gonna try to provide value. And if it's not being seen, then, you know, kudos. So that's the type of character trait that I think, you know, gonna make a lot of good traders as well. Because, you know, the market's gonna try and push you around every day, basically. You just gotta be able to have 10 toes down and say, no, I'm following my rules today. I'm following my rules. You're trying to get me an overtrade, you're trying to get me a FOMO trade, you're trying to get me to do this and that. Now I'm following my rules today. So remember that difference, right? Between being a feather in the wind and setting rules and sticking to them. You have to stick to your guns. I respect someone more who is wrong and at least sticks to their guns, but doesn't repeat that mistake, right? At least stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. Because, you know, if you think about even the role as a president, right? It's very paradoxical. Because a president can have certain policies, which is never going to be 100% correct. Right? But I respect the president who sticks with his guns. So if he says he's going to do one thing, he's going to do that one thing. We just got a shotgun play, by the way. Candlestick just closed below that next support. It's still trying to come down. It's still trying to break these lows to push down. That's what it looks like. Yeah, but you respect like a president who sticks to his guns. Because he's never going to make an answer everybody is going to love, correct? Not everybody's going to be on board with what he has to do. And if you can't stick to your guns, then, you know, you can't be ever making a decision in your life. Damn, Daniel, come on, Goldie. Just move down. Holding that 15-minute SMA, 15-minute... what else you got? 5-minute SMA right there. The 1-minute accumulation. I think you're trying to get through this wick. You're gonna get in. Wait for at least this wick to break. 551.75. Anything, because it's still kind of hesitating there. Should be able to push. We'll be expecting like some kind of a push through there. Just so we broke that wick to move up. Pretty big accumulation. Faked out once here. Would be perfect if that closed bullish before the break. Get like some bullish closure there. Now you see it's struggling, right? It's like it's trying to move. Usually when price is moving bullish, it doesn't move like this. This just looks more like it's trying to push down. It's just facing a bit of resistance in this general region. It needs like a breakout You can see it's coming down. You can see that weakness, correct? Like, because this is what's happening now. This is what's happening now. This doesn't have too much to do with this. Yeah, sure, you can say we're kind of, you know, we had this move up here, but we're not trending. The daily is a doji right now. You can see it. The candlestick body here is only about like 8.6 pips. Yeah, now you got the support at least being formed. That's why I mean it will be much better here if we get that support being formed. Now it's structurally sound for that break. It's structurally sound for the break. Is this when we dump? This is when we're gearing up for the dump. We're gearing up for it. Should be breaking. Next time it breaks, we gotta get like a solid break of those lows. Got a new 5-minute candle that's opening up here soon. It's kind of fidgety. Still a solid break. 1 minute left. Yeah, let's see that. Whoa, you see it's kind of fidgety there. Holy. So you gotta wait for a solid break. It's rather you get in stock a bit late than rush it when prices like this. Because when prices like this, you can see it's fidgety. It's a little fidgety. You see it's squeezing out. That's emotion. That candle, what you've seen right here, this is emotion. That's emotion. Market participants were somehow squeezed. There's a way that the market does this pressure. There's a way that it kind of builds pressure on moves. You see like how it can come so, like look at this for example. It came here, it broke this wick only by 0.3 pips. There's a way that it happens to me sometimes as well, where I pull the trigger too quick because like I see the candle move fast. And if you saw the way it moved fast, right? It kind of moved like this, kind of moved like that, kind of moved like this. There's a small little pressure trick there. And then you see that's not the release. It's kind of like the screw you. That's why you must always wait. The market's very intentional about the way it ticks and the way it moves. So you must always kind of like most of the time wait for like strong breaks. Right? It comes with a bit of a caveat because, you know, there's a way that the market does this. Like if you notice like Tuesday's trade, it came 0.1 pip to when I was right about to hit a buy. It came 0.1 pip. And then that 0.1 pip, it just quickly went to like 20 pip. Right? From 0.1 pip, I just needed 0.1. Just like a 0.1, I just needed to hear my alert go like, ching. It just needed to move 0.1, but it came right to that point. And then from that point, it skips to 20. It's the same thing. Like sometimes it can come right there. You see it broke like 0.3 pips. And then it skips to fake out quickly the traders over here. All right, so that's why you gotta be very disciplined. You gotta have your 10 toes down when it comes to trading. For me, I personally like this kind of style of trading because it's a lot more refined than a lot of other kind of ways to approach markets in real time like this. It's a lot more refined. So I do find that enjoyment in testing my abilities to wait for the breaks, to decide when I think it makes sense to, you know, get in. Like sometimes you might have to be okay with getting in slightly early because you see like the way price is trending and the setup is clean and you know like this thing is just surely gonna go in your direction. But let me see, this is the 1 minute. It's still coming down to retest these zones. You see it's testing, it's playing with, it's like a cat. You ever see a cat play with its food? Like a bird, it catches. That's what the market is doing here. It's playing with its food before the cat gets bored. You know, eventually the cat gets bored and leaves the bird lying around somewhere. So that's why it's gonna happen. I think that's when it fully breaks these lows. Then you see the market's gonna get tired of playing with this food. That's what we'll be anticipating. Because it shouldn't move up like this. This is just to get out some of those psychological tricks that it plays. But yeah, if it fully breaks, like, man, it should go down. Like, technically speaking and price action wise, it doesn't make sense to not do it. It doesn't make sense to not do it. I think that's the new... Oh, no, it's not a new 5-minute. See, it's just flirting with that area down there. It's playing with you. It's just flirting with that area. Flirting with the idea of a dump. It might push through it quite fast. That's kind of what happened like here. The first breakout with the London session, like it was such a good entry, but like it just spiked too quick. So you see like people are anticipating these lows to get broken. So you're gonna see how it's gonna behave. Right over here, you're gonna see orders start to come in. You don't need no book map or anything, man. You can see the candles, you can read them. You can read the anxiety, the uncertainty, the anticipation. You can see it in these candles. They'll behave. Let's see. Something interesting is gonna happen though, for sure. Probability is gonna come in of that winning or losing trade once it spikes through. See that how that 1 minute's gearing up? Okay, 1 minute's just flirting. Damn, it's flirting with this area. Holy! It is flirting. Yeah, 5-minute close. Okay, perfect. You gotta wait because you see the candle was about to close. You'd rather wait for the candle to close. Right, you just had like 5 seconds as he was breaking those lows. Again. Damn, Goldie. You're really playing with people right here. Let's see. Come on, get through them. On some brokerages, it's already broken. So this is also like an estimate, right? Because all brokerage is gonna have different, slightly different price points. Like on this trade specifically, my IC markets is already breaking. This candle is already breaking this low on my broker, and sometimes it's vice versa. Sometimes this will be breaking, but my IC markets is behind. So you're never gonna have. That's why you gotta focus on like one terminal, right? Because you're never gonna have them all the time like line up. It's just gonna create a lot more confusion. A lot more confusion if you can. Oh man, this is not lining up here. This is not lining up here. That's not lining up. It just creates a whole lot of unnecessary confusion. Because they're never gonna line up. It's like an overall estimate that the liquidity provider is gonna give you. That's why it's important to wait for solid breaks. At this point, I just want to see this play out. Yeah, you see this, man? It's like hovering. Sometimes it's a good sign because when it breaks like a release. It's like a release valve. So I would expect like a violent reaction off that mark. Mostly in a positive way, because there's a lot more confluence here. You got a shotgun, you got the accumulation. But you must be prepared for a violent reaction. Either it's gonna go in your profit or it's gonna come up like this quick. It'll just depend on the market, right? That's why you gotta treat each setup like basically just a setup in a cluster of setups. Just set up in a cluster of setups, and each one will bring like a different character, right? So when you take a trade, just think about like this is a probability of a winning or a losing trade. That's kind of like your mindset when approaching the market. So let's see, man. See what it does over here. That's quite interesting to me. I gotta see these breaks over here soon. 51.75. Damn, it's really playing with people's emotions. You know, like people, they're gonna be so focused in this general region over here. So focused. Just looking at it. You're looking at it with your finger on the trigger. It's waiting for it. See, that's why it's behaving like this. It's like a flirt, you know, like when someone kind of flirting with you. But you see, the problem is it's calmed down like a few times here. It's very easy to squeeze yourself into positions. So you gotta be very, very, very patient. Very patient. That's the nature of day trading and scalping, and it's all about enjoyment, right? Like if you don't enjoy it, then this is it can become very annoying, very stressful. Remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Or this physiological safety, like if you're still at a lower vibration, then these kind of areas here, they're really gonna squeeze you. Squeeze like, man, I need this trade. I need this trade. So any kind of quick movement, you think like it's already time to go. That's why we're trying to get up here. We're trying to get to the top. You see, even with the logo over here, there's the TFX logo. You see, we're trying to get to the top. The logo over there. The Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Self-actualization. You do the inner work in trading and you get the results that you want to get. If you're just here and then you know there's some people, even after the move, they're going to say, buy or sell, sir. They're still down here. Buy or sell. Bay or sale. Bay or sale. Or you see people like they just come on to streams just for trades. They're still down here. That's why you see the spike. If I show you the analytics on YouTube, it goes like this. It's steady, steady, steady. Trade about to come. Trade happens. Down here, my friend. You're gonna be there for a long time. I'm not gonna sugarcoat things on this channel. That's one thing for sure. That is one thing for sure. For sure about me. I ain't gonna sugarcoat you. I ain't your mama. I ain't your mama. You gotta go find your mama somewhere else. Mama gonna take care of you and your emotions. Yeah, let's wait. Let's wait. Look at this coming in hot. Come on, pay them out. Pay them out. Pay them out. Hey, there you go. Come on, just pay these guys out. Stop playing with your food, Goldie. Stop playing with your food. Damn, Goldie, stop playing with your food. Just pay them out. How many confluences you need, man? You give a whip. Get down there. You already broke below support. You already broke and retested. Man, this thing did so much not to move down. It's broken below support. It's retested. It's breaking the lows. It's accumulating. It's breaking the accumulation. Got some nice SMAs in favor and confluence there on the 5, the 15. It's doing too much not to go down. Damn. You know, sometimes what the market likes to do is whenever it sees like a nice range to fill like this, it sometimes likes to trickle because it knows a lot of people are watching this. That's just the way I say. Like sometimes the moves are really obvious. It knows people are watching it, so it can be a little bit careful with how it plays it out because it's a pretty high confluence area. This is Let me just draw this as a high volume area. Got a high volume area. But if price action is to just respect like usual PA movement, then it should actually just pay these guys out. But remember, there's always a variable in anything in life, right? There's always that little thing, that uncontrollable thing. But the idea is, how can you keep doing this consistently, getting yourself in like a good spot to give yourself a good chance for position. But yeah, PA wise, this thing is doing too much not to move down. Price action wise, it's doing too much not to move down. It's camera shy. Yeah. It's doing too much not to move down. It's trying to shake people out. You can see it as well with the fluctuation, right? Look at the way the candle here is fluctuating by those wicks. You can tell there's like a real battle between faking these sellers out and paying them out. It's like really deciding at this point. It's a that break right there was a very, very crucial break. That's why I said expect like a violent kind of a reaction. Preferably should have seen more pushing to the downside. See, it's still deciding. With each candlestick that closes, it's gonna change the variable. You see right over here, got a little bit of buyer strength come in. It's so nasty. It's on the PDC. Hey, this 5 minute has really struggled. It's closing in about 7 seconds. Broker took me, put 50% SL. I give a chance that follow through. I'm not happy to be E on the markets right now, so I'm just gonna watch. Yeah, I'm just watching this as well here. Damn, it's struggling. It's not a good sign when it struggles. And you just got this wick standing out here. It's still below that freaking level. It'll need to come back above these areas completely. That's where the buyer, is it like buyer's control back above this high, 51.77. So it's still, as long as it's still trading below that level, this is still where, yep, now it's starting to trying to get up here. This is where the seller's territory was. We're trying to push it. Is the daily trending? Oh no, the daily is at 0.02. Also could be the fact that that daily is still indecisive. Still like a doji. You see right at that high volume area, doji daily is still a doji. So since the market opened, we've only moved like, let's just say the volume on the day currently at this very moment is like 10 pips. 10 pips. So we got a doji, a little bit of an indecision, and we can see that trickling into LTF as well, where the daily flip is. It's a shame because if it still moves down, it's still pulled up like significantly here to white people. Because now it's just basically doing cleanup. If it still moves down, because if it still moves down, then there was no point of this move up. Correct? There's no point of that move up. But if it keeps moving up, then yes, then now would make sense here as a liquidity grab. A very crucial point there on Goldie though. A little bit of that 15, 30 minutes about to close here in like 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Got some hourly resistance right over here too. Actually, it was looking really nice for the sellers in my opinion. They got like hourly resistance right over here. Tapped into hourly resistance. Because if this thing was to tumble, it'd be like a very, very nice trade. You got like HTF range as well on the hour. Right over here. Rejecting. And this whole area is a huge rejection. It's like a fat rejection level. You can see multiple rejection wicks. Right over here we just tapped into. Right next to that resistance. Let's see what it's doing. I think whatever the case, it just needs to move away from this zone. And slowly chewing up the range. Watching a battle between buyers and sellers, currently buying. Yep. But you see the buy move is it's a bit more random, right? Because there's no confluence. The way the candlesticks were closing and the rejection points that we had and the confirmations for wick breaks, those were more solid ideas for where price should go next. This is kind of like, okay, I guess it's going to be a liquidity grab type of trade. You know, if you're just assuming that everything's going to be a liquidity grab, then you just take a gander at it and assume that that's a liquidity grab. But there's no reason why if price is moving down. Man, the worst thing you're going to do is if price is moving down, you're going to buy. And if price is moving up, you're going to sell. That's the worst thing that you're going to do. Because you can never really catch the top. Like, there's a lower chance you're going to catch the top or bottom. If price is moving up and you're looking to sell, if price is moving down and you're looking to buy. And you're kind of focusing on what's currently happening now. You're not focusing on this, because if you start focusing on things like this as well, it's good to have a bias, but you see the daily doesn't have a bias right now. The daily is plus 0.02%. So overall, there's no buyer or seller really in control of gold spot right now. All right, so it wouldn't be sufficient enough to say that that was a trending move and then that is just like a lower probability sell because we're moving up. No. The daily is still a doji. This was just a pre-London distribution to the upside. So it's still deciding here. You see, the thing is, they could be trying to accumulate to get through that hourly, because that hourly is quite a hefty level. You can see the liquidity grab a bit more on the 1 hour now. You see, it's like the market also has its own, I would say, like agenda. You see that little bit of a grab down here now because it's attempting to break this really higher level. It could be that in this scenario, it just was not willing to move down, but it was willing to just look to grab orders. That's why I gave like false confirmations to grab some orders down here so it can get through this level. So it's not like it was a bad trade. It was just the probability of that trade in the context of what the market is trying to do now was that it was just generally just trying to pick orders in so it can break above that resistance. You know, it's not like it's always out to get you. It's doing its job. Like if gold wants to go up, the market doesn't really know about you. It doesn't know about John or Tom or me. It's just doing its job, right? So if it's trying to actually get to some targets here, maybe like even 5200 or something of the sort, its job is to find liquidity. So it's trying to look for that liquidity over here in the specific context. But your job is not to do the market's job. That's what people think that they're going to do now. That you're going to start doing the market's job by trying to always get the fake outs, trying to always get like these sniper entries like that. And that's a market's job. That's not your job. That's why I said smart money concepts like this sometimes can be tricky. Because you're never going to know. You're rather just going to follow what the candles are saying. Big difference. Was there any way to catch buys on that? Nah. Like if you guessed it, the only way like I would have caught a buy like this was, let's say that the only way that would make the most sense for me would be either just giving it a shot, I guess, like giving your trade a second chance here with start breaking the highs, because it's still in that accumulation area. So what you're basically seeing then would be accumulation here, and then that would be the manipulation down over here, manipulation, and then that would be now the true distribution, right? So the manipulation was just to gather in orders for this move. But when the daily is still a doji, it's a bit unclear, because sometimes it can manipulate both directions. It could come like this, and you could break the high and then come back down like this. Then you'd see two fake outs here. But if the daily was more trendy, let's say it was up like 0.40% plus, then you could look at that and say, okay, you know, that's my manipulation here. The daily is moving up bullish, so I still want to be trading with a daily volume. But when the daily is neither moving up or down, like, you know, how are you gonna know? You just take a sell, you take a buy. So that's how you could have caught it, if you just like gave it a second chance there at the break of this high and looked at it as manipulation. But that's still, like, for me, a low quality, because the daily is not trending up. But if you really want to trade, then that would be the only other option, and say, oh man, okay, so that didn't work out, so if this one fails as well, then, you know, just throw in the towel, because you're not going to be able to win the fight against the market if it keeps doing this and then comes here and does that. So that's why, for me personally, like when something like that happens, I'll just move over to the next session, because it could also be that the session itself will be kind of sharky and choppy. So when you come back in a different time, you start to see it moving like a bit much better, a lot more free. And that's all it is. It's just a game of understanding. Patience is a very, very important one. Patience. So it's also sometimes not about attacking. It's sometimes about accepting defeat and moving to the next opportunity. Now, strength as a retail trader is your waiting ability. Never forget that. That's literally one of your edges that you don't have to get involved, right? Or the market will be here today, tomorrow, and these moves you think you might be missing like right now, they're gonna be moves later. They're gonna be moves in pre-NY. They're gonna be moves in NY open. So don't focus too much on like a single area to trade. Remember, you got a whole day ahead of you. The best thing you can do is cultivate that patience and that maturity. That maturity to look at things for what they are and like break them down in a way that's not personal. I managed to catch his buy, but my full TP was not hit. So I placed a sell to B and got stopped at B. Wow, really? How'd you get stopped? Did this thing pull back? It didn't even pull back though. I think you got in. Oh, you took the top of it. You got in all the way up here. Could have gotten in earlier if you were gonna attempt this, because this was a zone that we were looking at. But I think what you're doing is you're trying to compensate some kind of a safety. But this structure here, I think it's a bit off. It's a bit away from this, because you already got in the manipulation here. It's already showed you that it's faked them out. So it shouldn't be re-breaking these highs if it didn't want to push. But even on that break of the high up there, it still pushed around 30, close to 30 pips. It's still a W. Still should have been a W on that. Well, I was really hoping for a big dump here. Yeah, what's up, RoboPen? Greetings. Greetings, RoboPen. Haven't reset yet. Wait for the timing to sell. Yeah, right now it's distributing from the fake out still. It's just retesting. It's still not momentum. That was a key one right there. No. Where are we going to, Goldie? Where are we going to? Is that 5200? Brutal grab, Brutal grab. Look at it on the 30. Clear as day. Just need the orders. These areas are still being respected. Like these previous 30 candles respect lows. You got a little bit of structure to get those orders in. I think on the daily we could probably see the daily had a fat liquidity grab as well. Looks like kind of like the character of the daily over here is just trying to pull as much orders as possible to go up. You already see since I think this was the Asia session, came down, broke below like 5140. Looks like it's hunting. What they call seek and destroy. It's seeking and destroying. This is as it's attempting to break above here at all costs. Get a 5200, and then the daily target we're looking at 53 is too far. Maybe like 5250. Yeah, I think that could be doable. 5250. That could be the mark. That could be the mark. Full-time trader. I'm a full-time waiter. I sit on my hands and that's what I do full-time. Trading is only... When we take a position, it's only such a small part of the day. Like, most of the times, man, our trading is done within like... Oh, I forgot to put the time here. Within the first hour. So I'm a full-time observer, full-time waiter, full-time journalist. Trading in and out. That's all. I'm a full-time time waster. I managed to catch this buy, but it's still pretty nice. Waited for the wick push. Broker took me out of 50%. Rebreak of the highs. Definitely one way to approach it. A little bit more aggressive, but it's like sometimes when something like fake out happens, it shows you kind of like, it gives you like an edge. So it's one way of looking at it. But it has to be baked into your system. That if that's the case, then you're gonna look for whenever something like that happens to take the opposite and not wait too long, because then you've already gotten your confirmation. So there's no need to wait for price up here. This would have been it. For me personally, I rather just wait. There's no harm in waiting really, but to each their own. Like if it looks really good, then it looks good. There's no cookie cutter method of doing this thing. It just comes down to like a bit of preference. If you don't want to wait, then you can take the trade. But if you don't mind waiting, then you can wait. I don't mind waiting. I don't mind. I'm a very patient guy. Like, that's the whole idea behind trading, is that you're good at that part. Very patient. Very patient. You gotta hit it like once in a while. I wait for the zone 5200, 5230 to sell it. What do you think? I think it could be like a good idea if you send in a chart to the Discord and we can see why you want to sell it at that level. I see, man's already clocked in 10k. Nice. It's only 2 p.m. Holy, you're gonna hit like maybe 15k by the end of the day. Nice, nice. Brothers are clocking in. Clock in. 2,000. Still working its way up. Yeah, I'm at like 455 right now. WWW. Today we're gonna get a nice pump in. Look at these Chinese apartments over here. Man, look at this. Chinese apartments. It's gonna take like 1.5 years to build this thing. To build this whole place, gonna take them like 1.5 years. How many floors is this? Damn, I can't. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah, it's kind of hard to count the freaking floors. Let's look at balcony. 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, like 13, 14. Classic Chinese shit right here. They usually like to go up to like the like 16s. Here, this one's like 16 floors. Man, they're gonna build this. Maybe in China they're gonna build like in a year or a year and a half. You know, they love, you know, Chinese contractors love working with people who launder money, because they're just like, take my money, take this cash. I need to get rid of it. I need to get rid of it. Take my cash. The Chinese are like, no problem, sir. No problem. You gotta make real nice money, man. Chinese, they make a lot of money on construction projects. Now you gotta see, like, people are gonna be in some real daycare center type of businesses where they're gonna make too much. So they gotta go find that cash to invest. That's why also we saw with the daycares in Minnesota. Because Somalia is a failed state. You're able to get cash in Somalia. So you can, it's much more easily accessible, like cash. Right? Those guys, Somalis, have a lot of cash. Is it a daycare center situation? Man, they're pulling in how much? Like millions of dollars daily. Where do you think they put that money, Chad? Like, you can't put that in a bank. Like, there's systems to this. And like Somalia being a failed state, it allows facilitation for acquiring physical assets, which are being reinvested in certain projects here around the world. And the Chinese are very smart about this. They're all around the world, the Chinese. That's their edge. Very, very sneaky. Before you know it, you'll be learning Mandarin in school. They don't fight wars and stuff like the US. The US is very public about like a lot of what they do. The Chinese are very quiet. You don't hear much about from Russia and North Korea either. They're very quiet about their approaches. The US to some extent is, but you know, it's like the US is like daytime television. Looks like one of the many empty cities over there. Yeah, it's empty as well. Well, why do you think it's empty? It's because all these money here is just going to these projects to launder. That's why they're empty. I wouldn't be surprised to see that like a lot of these apartments are empty. It's because they got a lot more. And the problem with this, it creates a false perception of development. Because you might see in some countries a lot of development, but nobody owns businesses. You don't own businesses. Right? And you wonder like where, well, you know, in America, if you see someone who's wealthy, most of the time you can link that back to a business that they own, right? But around the world, you see this like kind of a false development. It's like developing, but all this money is just been pouring in from, let's just say, daycare centers. It's daycare centers, so it's a false development. Because people have like, some few people have too much money, so that's why you have these buildings. The problem is like, they don't care if anyone is living in them as well. That's why they stay empty. Can't be bothered. And Also, pricing, maybe it's like rent prices pretty high. But it's pretty nice. Like a building like this, for example, can be owned by one person. Like this. I don't know if this is all connected, but it can be owned by just one person. This kind of like a project like this, you'll be surprised. The guy doesn't care if like people are living in there. He just needs to move his money. Goldie's kind of trying to set up something again. See, it's at the hourly resistance. Hourly resistance. But you see, it's accumulating. It's literally trying to break through that level. I wouldn't be surprised to see another fake out to the lows somewhere around here. Another kind of like a liquidity grab. But there's no structure at this moment. There's no kind of like a support or like a fake out situation to create that structure to pull up. Yeah, the two buildings closest to the camera is owned by one guy. Yes, sir. Well, what's the ethnicity in China that these people that you kind of know, like, who do these things? Because if you know the ethnicity or the type of person, usually you just gotta... If you bump into them, or like, let's say if Somalis owned that building, for example, right? If there's Somali living in there, there's a high chance that, you know, Somalis, they talk a lot. There's a high chance that they would know who the owners are, etc. So like in China, I don't know how you're gonna know what's the demographic of people who are doing this business. We're like Russians, could be, I don't know, anybody. I don't know how you figured that out. And they're so quick with it as well. Bro, like... going so fast. They work pretty hard. Very organized. Very organized people. You know, Chinese, if you ever meet a Chinese person and you try to speak Chinese to them, they're gonna be very impressed. They'll be like, wow! This guy Jing knows a few words in Chinese, because it's that Kaizen thing again. It's like, wow, this guy actually, you know, kind of like trying over here. I don't know a single word in Chinese. But very friendly people. If you speak to them in their language, they'll be like, wow. They're ghost cities, but this is not one. They even got like a Paris over there. Those ghost cities that look like France. It's like the Americans, man. The Americans tried to make their own smartphone, but I think they needed some Chinese intervention. If you look at the T1, the Donald Trump smartphone, it was supposed to be made in America. That was a slogan, but they changed it to proudly American because they realized they can't do this shit without the Chinese. So somewhere in there, they had to liaise. Somewhere in there, you see this is a T1. Meet the T1 phone, premium American-made smartphone. I think it comes with a little bit of crypto in there. I think it's retailing for like $500, but you had to put a $100 deposit. Trying to load it up. The Paris model is hilarious. Konnichiwa. Has internet not working? Apparently, yeah, this gonna be... Wait, the T1 premium... No, not this. This website is slow. Goldie, Goldie, Goldie. Getting ready. Is it gonna do another liquidity grab below here, or is it gonna distribute? Finally breaking the lows. I feel like liquidity grabs. It's doing liquidity grabs today. Looks like it. This American Proud Design T1 phone isn't just powerful. Brought life here to the US. The cool thing about it is 120 hertz refresh rate. Even Apple doesn't do 120 hertz on standard iPhones. $500. Probably comes with a bit of Trump coin in there too. You see that? Liquidity grab. See, it's just the nature of the day. You got another one. That's what I mean. Like, you gotta understand the market for what it is. Like, sometimes on days like this, it's just looking for orders. So the breaks are not to break to distribute. The breaks are to look for orders, so it can go up. So I'm gonna use that as a confluence potentially later. If that keeps happening. So just wait for like the break, boom, and then re-break of the highs. See, it's just the nature of the market. Each day is gonna be slightly different. It's got a lot of heavy lifting to do. That's the thing. There's a lot of heavy lifting to do above these highs. So that's the reason. And in that case, it's actually a really nice confluence. See, you got it right over here. Boom, boom, boom. Man, you gotta love trading, right? You gotta love trading. You gotta love the process, the understanding, the whole shazam. Because don't try fight the market. Trust me, you're gonna get very discouraged, my friend. Like, if you're just focusing on wins and losses, purely, you're gonna get very, very discouraged. I got a lot of buddies who tried trading and they don't do it anymore. They're like, man, why'd you quit? I got this one Italian buddy. His name is Pierre. I'm like, Pierre, what? He's like, hey Vic, you know, I'm trading now, blah blah blah. But like, I quit. I'm like, man, why'd you quit? And so I got discouraged. I'm like, why you a pussy, bro? Why you get discouraged? Why you trying to flip an account? Yeah, man, I'm trying to flip accounts. Trying to do funded programs. You know, I'm trying to do this and that. I'm like, have you thought about investing in your education? It's like, nah, man. I'm just trying to flip accounts. Like, why do you think you're getting discouraged? Give you whips, my friend. Don't get discouraged. Just focus on the process. Yeah, but you know, nah. Yeah, see, that's creating what is doing literally the same thing that I did down here. But you know, it's hard. It's hard. My emotions get affected a lot. I want it easy. I want it easy. And I was heading up towards where the target one. It's on liquidity grabs. Goldie is trying to push up today. Let's see another one. That's why I said, remember what I said, like run back the stream. Remember what I said, like when price is coming down like this, it was just waiting to create structure. It was just waiting. It just needed like some kind of support to be formed. Like that. Man, why is it skipping all the way? It just needed that support to be formed so it can do the liquidity grab. Because without the support, it's like it'll look a bit weird. To create a support, break below it, just the same way like here, create a support, break below it. You see, it's just the nature of the market. Even though the daily is not trending, it's trying to move, but it needs orders, and that's why you're seeing the liquidity grabs and buys above. Oh man, Jonathan already left? Bruh, you see, people leave and then they kind of miss out on these freaking because this is what Jonathan was trying to do earlier. So this is what I wanted to explain to him was like, don't wait for price to break above here. Man, like people just don't want to learn how to trade, bro. Or I don't know, maybe life is just too busy. But it's amazing when you can see it, conceptualize it, and then move on. Digest it and then move on. Because he was taking a buy up here, but I used to make that mistake too of waiting too long. That's how I was telling him, like, he could have gotten his entry right here and then used that just as a confluence. Because it's the same thing here. But you see, this one's a bit more straightforward because you don't have any structure on the left to actually wait for a further break. So you can see it a bit better, like in that scenario. Man, that was specifically for him. But anyway. We gotta move. We gotta move. Whoever is here will understand. Good day, sir. You using EMA cross or not? I use the SMAs, the simple moving averages, 50 and 8. Just as a momentum indicator. So yeah, we use them. So you see, like in this scenario here, if you look at that as a fake out and then break above these highs, then this is a momentum indicator. You see, when you get the, for example, the SMAs cross, so we're trading above them. It's really good. Like even here, for example, you can see we're trading above that 8. It's like a momentum indication. Came back, retested the high value point. But it's just liquidity grabbing. So you get days like this where it's daily bias is still not fully formed. It's still a doji. And other days are a bit more obvious. Like when price is moving up like heavily, you know that that's going to be a liquidity grab. There's a pretty strong chance it's going to be a liquidity grab. But on a day like this, you'd have to first see it happen, right? So this was the first time that it happened down here. Then we're like, okay, you know, it's most likely just a liquidity grab day because you can see on the hourly, that's what I was trying to do anyway to even break above these highs. Especially because the daily is not trending, you kind of chalk it up to it's most likely going to do it again. That's why I say it's going to create like the support, fake out, create that candle, that infamous type of candlestick here where you got the long wick, break below support and pull back up. And then that's going to be that confirmation. So as it breaking these lows, you know it's just trying to do it to grab. It's still going to go up and then it's still going to be in that headspace because I think there's still a lot more heavy lifting that it needs to do beyond these points. So even with the next setup, you want to be cautious. Hour close coming. Nice. Got hour close, new hourly open. You see a lot of heavy lifting it has to do here. That's why it's doing those grabs. It's got to get through this radiation. seeing some profit taking from that move. A little bit of profit taking. That 41 pip break. Goldie gonna distribute down or up? Up. Why do I think that Samsung Treefold is super expensive? Maybe they got a patent on the technology. So they're able to monopolize. You got a patent, someone can copy you. So if you want that same effect, you're gonna have to pay them. That's why it's so expensive. It's just the same way as this. You get what is it called? Like a Ninja Creamy. Yeah, like the Ninja Creamy. The company that owns this, they got a patent on making ice cream at home. So it's the only company who's gonna make like amazing ice cream machine. Ninja Creamy, because they got the patent. This guy's company is super interesting because they waited for the patent already belonged to someone else. They waited for it to expire. As soon as they expired, they started their business. How sick is that? They just waited for that patent to expire. As soon as it expired, they grabbed the patent, started the business. Yeah, this thing is pretty nice. You're not gonna find an ice cream making machine at home as superior to the Ninja Creamy. And then they're gonna charge what they're gonna charge. You're gonna pay what they're gonna say. See, Goldie still trying to move up here. It just had a test of high volume. High volume area. See, operates like that. First round, boom, pays out. Then you get the retest of high volume. It's trying to get more orders from here, where the buyers previously were. Test, then try push. So that's how you can avoid fake outs. So we spoke about this one way of avoiding fake outs without a trending bias on the daily. That's one way that you can kind of scope it out. It's a high volume area. You know, it's also good that it does this because it reinforces the idea that there's going to be a sufficient amount of orders on those levels, right? So it's good that it creates it and then it does that because it's reinforcing the idea. Imagine the amount of orders sitting here for the market to think that it needs to come down there to collect those orders to move up. Just imagine. These are the trades we take on a day-to-day basis, chat. That's why we call these a high probability entry confirmations, or TFX concepts. Even the market wants to go down there specifically to get those orders. So think about how powerful that is. Remember, the market on certain days will just need to do its job, which is to hunt liquidity to keep going in its direction. But on average, if you do this the opposite direction, it's not going to work. What you're going to see is because now you're going against all those high volume orders. On average, if you do that, giving it up a sample size, it will just go straight through you. It will just go straight through you like that. So don't think just because you've seen that here today that you're going to start doing the opposite. It's not going to work. You want to trade with the direction that it's heading. Today is just a context of the market trying to pull up. Your job is just to be consistent. Consistency brings results. Consistent. That's it. It's setting up again. It's gonna set up again for a potential move. You see, it's really struggling with these wick rejection areas. So it's gonna keep doing that as it tries to keep pushing above. And let's see what else we got today. Oh, just unemployment claims. Looks like we're expecting an increase, but most likely just gonna stay neutral. See, Fed watch tool, 6 days, 7 hours. That's Azoli. Will gold move a lot during the unemployment claims today? Yeah, fortune teller. DXY closing the gap. Do I look at PBR? No. See, Ace of Currencies. Yes, the card shows a pronounced move with the long and the Ace of Currencies pushing gold upward on data. The other two futures warrants traders, hedges, and arbitrage will make it sharp. Contested spike with quick reversals. All right, so we got a reading here from the Holy Gulag cards, and the Holy Gulag cards are telling us unemployment claims is gonna move up with a shop PA. We got the Ace of Currencies. Money is okay. Let me get my reading here today. So my reading is money is flowing to you, motivating and inspiring you to pursue a new path. You are open to receiving new opportunities. A whole world of potentiality is available. Oh, I like that. I'm like Ozo. Remember like Ozo when he was going to the reading person in Snowfall? This Ozo guy's a G. I think I got like 2 more episodes, then I'm done with Snowfall. So I'm like, Ozo, gotta get my readings. And you shows a snake the whole time. Auntie. Franklin's auntie. Yeah, look at Goldie setting up again. He's getting ready. So a little what we call like scale-in, potential scale-in opportunity. Snowfall is the best that I watched. Best series, man. Best series 2026 this year. Like I haven't seen anything else. Like literally, if it wasn't for Snowfall, I wouldn't be watching anything. There's just nothing. Now we're going back into that again. Gotta have nothing. That's why I'm trying to stream as well. After stream, I do something. Daniel didn't show up today. Yesterday we had a lot of fun. Damn, Daniel. Damn, Daniel. I used the fake out to secure 15 pips. Very well done, Momar. So do you think it's gonna visit previous day high? Previous day high, yes. Previous day high, we can revisit previous day high. We also have a liquidity grab there on the daily, taking out previous day low. Got the SMA. You know, it's trickling, it's waiting for something. You can also see on the daily here. You see how it's moving up like this? That market structure. It's waiting for something, some news or something. That's what gold is waiting for. On the HTF. But everything else, man, the intradays are pretty solid. Pushes are nice. That's why stats are starting to open up again. As long as there's volume and commitment, then, you know, perfect. We'll get the breakouts, then it should just go in that direction. And that's it. Unemployment today. Yeah, unemployment today. Core PC on Friday. And then FOMC next week, Wednesday. So those are the events. But you know, that would mean that price really ain't gonna go anywhere, because then that means the next daily candle, if this one closes above, next daily candle close bearish, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it starts to move again. So hopefully that's not the case, but we'll see. Daily looks like garbage, but intraday is fine to some extent. Let's see if it does that liquidity grab. Let's watch. They're gonna do it on this attempt. Let's see. It should be coming in below those lows. This is a reversal though. It's slightly different market dynamics on this one, because you see here there's no reversal. Here there's no reversal. It was a bit too high up, but this one is like literally right next to this zone. So generally speaking, we tend to look at that like more of a reversal. But let's see. Oh, 10 seconds? Man, this thing's moving so slow. Rather just create like a support over there. Create a support. And then something interesting is going to happen at the break of those lows. Let's see on the 5-minute. Now, it hasn't created that 5-minute support to give us that really good looking liquidity grab. It could still, if it pulls below here and then closes bullish. Like this. Alright, see what it does. If it's gonna pay out, or it's gonna liquidity grab. Slightly a bit different market condition. It needs to at least come down towards 51.84 if that was gonna be a payout. Looks like it was a payout this time. Very good. Very good. Pay them out. See, it did it with like some kind of that's why I said it's a bit different, because it's like a market reversal signal. So maybe just give it a bit more of an edge to play out rather than these other ones. These other ones didn't have that that context of that reversal. So I think it just paid them out. Let's see, what did it do for them? Like 30 pips, quite decent. Right on range between like 16 to 30 pips that we look for. Very good. I also had like really nice clean range down there too. You see, that was also a high volume area right here. That is it. These head and shoulder sells are really nice. Yeah, it was really good. Like even yesterday we caught like a really nice trade. We made like, I caught like a trade here. It was like 3%. I got like 3%. I think some of the people caught that move as well. The ones who are listening. We caught the moves. I think it was this one right here. Yeah, this is the same trade that I caught yesterday. See, first confluence, head and shoulder sell. Very clean. Head and shoulder sell. Even Kevja got it right here. Kevja got one as well. That look really nice too. This kind of looks like this one. It's kind of similar, right? Let's see it like this. We got a photo print this into somebody's brain over there. You see, let's just give him a flashbang. Ching! I mean, I've got to photo it into your brain. Oh, where's the white? Oh, there it is. Where's the white? We gotta do photo memory for somebody out there. TFX. It's like programming. The way people are like that with ICT, they gotta go like that with TFX. Follow the programming. Listen to my voice. I should just start talking like Michael. So we got a nice, Michael talks like Bob Ross, guy who paints. Got a nice PD array over here, but we call this a fair distribution range into a nice little accumulation. And that's typically signifying that the sellers are coming in here when it starts to break below some certain key wick areas, because that's now what we're going to call the free delivery range into the profit target zone. We're going to find a lot of the smart money concepts players. We're going to be taking the profits out. And that creates a nice little inversion that you can have an opportunity back to the upside. And when the move's going to set up again, then you're going to take it again. Damn. Being profitable is nice, because there's so many people who are going to be stuck like for so long, and it's only getting worse because a lot more people are learning a lot about trading now. But when I was learning to trade, it was still like coming up. It wasn't as known as now, but now it's super known. I can already see there's going to be a lot of what do you call it, a lot of noise. There's a lot more noise. It's going to be hard for people to resist. now, Michael, the market will set up again and pay you out. But are you disciplined enough to understand the flow of price and be patient and trust the process? Very nice. What are we trying to game today? I'm trying to game Hellblade. Is it called Hellblade? I'm trying to play Hellblade. But I can't find a way to make it fit the screen like we usually do. It comes like a bit landscape. That's a problem. Game some FIFA. No one got FIFA, and yeah, it would be nice actually, but I don't have it. Is it free on Steam? Let me see. Probably not. Let's see, what FIFA, what are we on? FIFA 22? No, we should be on FIFA 26. Where's FIFA 26? What is this? This is poverty spec FIFA. FIFA 22. Man, that was like so 4 years ago. What? Portals? Are there portals now? What is this? Where's the guy coming from? You got portals in FIFA. It's just an ad. Bro just ran out of a portal. That would actually be quite sick. Got the Flash playing FIFA. Nice way to launder money too. Stadiums. Yeah, the rich people in your countries need to start building infrastructure. And launder their money in a nice stadium like this. I feel like sometimes those people who launder money, they're gonna do more than the government does. They're the ones gonna build the apartments, they're gonna build the facilities. FC 26, they ended the licensing with FIFA because FIFA wanted too much money? No way. No more FIFA? Well, what are people playing now? FIFA now is EA Sports FC. Oh, damn, Daniel. So we have to say FC 26. Oh, EA Sports FC 26. Download EA Sports FC 26 Showcase. Learn about this demo. Oh, we'll play the demo. Nice, I got a streamer in here in the trailer. Sick. They should have gotten the KSI squad. That guy from I forgot what they called the KSI squad. The sidemen. Yeah, they should have gotten the sidemen in these in this trailer. But have the sidemen never been on a FIFA ad before? Not worth wasting your money on it? No, I'm not gonna buy it. The game is trash, so laggy, so toxic. Ghost of Tsushima, we played that already. I don't know, we gotta see. Alright, chat, I'm heading out. This thing is going to fill, it's looking to fill this range right over here. It's gonna be heading down. Looks like it's cleaning the 1 minute, the 5 minute. The 5 minute looks pretty good. Yeah, it's gonna be looking to correct this range. It's about like 61 pips. Hope you all managed to get some value from the stream today, and I will see you tomorrow for Freaky Friday. Adios, everybody. Take care. I'll try to come on for the gaming stream later. All right, peace.